Welcome back to the podcast.
That was freaking great.
There you go. What a transition from our regular chat into the podcast. Welcome back to episode 10. Episode 10. We're into double digits, people.
Episode 10.
This is big time news. It should be front page, world news, everywhere, even North Korea.
Why is she sneak peeking us, by the way?
I don't know.
She's making
It's a
picture
bit...
of us.
Sneaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you say sneak peek?
Yeah. This is like
Yeah.
it's like that voyeurism stuff that I've. Wait, no, I haven't seen that.
Wasn't very sneaky. I was just gonna upload it to Twitter like I do every week when we do it.
Oh, ooh.
When we
Someone's
do
on
it.
top.
Yeah.
I can see both of your minds working. Stop it. PG stream. It's stream. It's not. Why do I always say it's stream? It's not a stream. It's a podcast.
It's a podcast. We are not streaming this. We should, by the way.
We should at some point. Yeah, I agree. We will do a podcast stream at sometime.
Yeah, sometime.
Oh,
like-
sugar.
Oh, and sugars.
Oh, sugars.
Sorry.
Sugars and spices and everything nice.
Yeah.
I named it Always on Top.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Nice. You're on top of it.
And I'm actually like on the top also, so kind of
Yeah.
works out.
Yeah.
So
Me
this is
and
the
Cassie on top
hierarchy.
of Fox. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the hierarchy. Whoa.
Oh yeah.
I'm down at
Anyway, should we get back on track with the podcast?
Sure.
So, Cassie, I do apologise. I gave Fox a little bit of a hint towards today's kind of topic. Thought I'd
That's not fair.
leave you in the dark to see whether you can come up with any fantastic, stories and ideas off the cuff. And me and Fox, well, to be fair, I haven't planned anything. I think Fox
I
has.
haven't planned anything either.
Seeing as the and anyway, well, I'm going to transition to it. But seeing as the weather is piss poor in the UK, what's it like in the US? Is it snowing yet?
I'd just like to say, listen, Linda, are you kidding me? It is snowing. It's been snowing since yesterday. It's like flurrying at this point, so it's not really like heavy snowfall anymore. But I think we have about 3 or 4 inches of snow right now. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Well, 3 and 4 inches is quite a lot, depending on the angle.
That's what she said.
It
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the size. It only matters how you use it. Like the snow, if it falls down, if it comes from the side, like the right angle of snow, really good.
See, I'm gonna say no on that.
No?
I'm gonna disprove your theory.
Oh, okay, fine. Just do us dirty like that. But anyway, Fox, and I assume the weather is cold at least over there.
Yeah, it's like 5 times a year. It's like hot, and that's it. Then it stops.
There you go.
So we have a 5-day
So
gap. Yeah.
that's a perfect segue into let's talk about holidays. Previous holidays, our plans were like places we would like to go. It kind of transition. Thought weather's bad. Let's talk about something nice. Get people looking forward to the rest of the year. COVID in 2022. I can't say it's going to go away. In the UK though, they've announced that they're just going to go back to regular business.
Normal.
No more
in the Netherlands too. In
no
2
more
months.
lockdowns or anything. So
We're down, yeah.
boom, they're taking away
Oh,
all the travel thing testing stuff as well. So
Wait, so literally like nothing.
nothing.
No.
They've said it's
Like you are back to normal.
we've got to go. They said we've they've said from March that we just have to go back to normal, and it,
Yeah, but
it
the
has to
thing
become
is,
part of regular life.
For like traveling in the Netherlands, we have to still test before you can.
Oh, we
go
don't-
on
we
a
don't.
plane, But that's it.
They've completely scrapped it in the UK now.
I'm so jealous right now.
Woo!
Woo!
I hope that
Hashtag
means that
Brexit.
by June
Hashtag Nexit.
the US will follow and we'll be just like, all right, guys, you're on your own. I'm sorry if you get a cold.
Yeah,
Get some Theraflu. You'll be okay.
yeah. Unfortunately, but.
I
Hey,
hope so.
it has to happen. You can't just keep closing every country down in the world
I
for the rest of your
agree,
life.
right?
But with that, have we got any plans for anywhere we would like to go on holiday? Obviously, me and Fox are having all expenses paid New Year's Eve.
That is not true. All expenses are not paid.
No, only the plane tickets.
Well, plane ticket,
You'll
yeah.
get there.
The plane tickets.
You're
Yeah,
gonna have
plane
to buy your
ticket.
own food.
Wow.
I will definitely
unless-
buy you like
unless
one
we
Happy
cook.
Meal at
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Well, when
if you
we
want
cook
that.
and stuff, like, yeah, you'll definitely have food, but you're gonna have to buy some other stuff, man. It's expensive here.
Probably not
I
as
don't know if you
expensive as
know
over here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that. Well, so is it expensive over there, or
Actually, to be fair, when you said something the other day, I was like, well, actually, that does seem quite a bit, but
No, I think it translates because I was talking to Paul, like KP, about it, and he earns like 2.5 times as much, but the food is like 2.5 times as much. So it collaborates to like the same amount.
Correct. Yeah.
But if you're flying here from America, it's
what's
crazy
it called? Like
cheap.
coefficient correlation or something? I can't remember.
I think it's like 2.5 times.
Yeah.
Damn, that's some efficient words. Nice.
I know.
But
he
like,
just said that, and I was like,
but like, if you are flying from like, let's say the Netherlands or the UK over to America, it's crazy expensive. Like everything is expensive.
right.
Because like our job pays less in comparison to what the dollar's worth. So I get paid like almost half that Paul gets paid, I think. So the food is crazy expensive if we go on vacation.
Right. So that's what I mean. Like when you come over here, you're thinking like even if you think in like terms of like McDonald's, what would you spend on a meal at McDonald's right now?
US dollars wise, probably like
$12.
$7.50 on a large Big Mac meal. Yeah.
No, 8.5 here. 8.5, 9.
I think it's about the same. I think ours is probably like 9-ish now.
Right, it's £5.50 over here, and it's about $1.50 to the pound.
It's €7.50, so it's about $9.
Yeah, so it's a bit more expensive in the Netherlands.
Interesting.
Get it fucked.
Yeah. But so for me, because like this year, what I'd previously been doing before COVID was I'd been trying to visit a different country each year. Now, obviously, for me, it's easier to do that in Europe, and that was kind of also part of what I wanted to get onto is like the difference of US, because I guess Canada, Mexico, I don't know whether you venture any further south, like Belize, Guatemala, Nicaragua, anyway like that. But for me, it's kind of like mainland, like Europe. So I'm hoping I can get out to something like Austria this year.
You know what kind of country? Like I'm watching a TV series. It's hard to explain, but they're like displaying the Albania, the land.
Oh yeah.
Albania, and it's so freaking pretty. So I don't know if they portray it like idyllic, like they portray it like the most beautiful it is. Of course they do it, but that looks amazing. I really want to visit there.
The thing is,
but at the same time, I think Albania gets overlooked because there was a lot of criminal.
Yeah, I think to be fair, certainly from a UK point of view, Eastern Europe is not very well like sought after for like holiday. Most people go Spain, Portugal, France, which are like the main like tourist like destinations. Whilst people kind of go, but what would you see in like Eastern Europe? And it's like I've been to like Slovenia, Croatia, things like that, and it's like it's actually incredibly beautiful if you go out there.
It's really beautiful.
And the thing is, like the other thing that I try and do when I go out is I try and learn just like the very kind of basics of like hello, can I have like thanks thing, how are you, things like that, just so that when you go out then people are like, oh well, at least he's tried to like learn a bit, and then they're very welcoming in general. Although I have also been
app on my phone that really translates every Dutch word or English word I say into the foreign language, and it really correlates well, to be honest. So I did that in India actually.
Oh.
Where most of the time they speak English, but I forgot what the main language was. No, it's not.
There's a lot that like
They
Gujarat
have a
or
dialect, right? There's a lot of
there's a lot of different
dialects.
ones in India.
So, that country is beautiful, but at the same time so freaking busy. It's
Dangerous as
like
well. When I say dangerous,
yeah.
I mean like so I haven't been to India, but my parents went to India and they said they were on a road which wasn't tarmacked and it was like 4 lanes wide, but there's no like central line or anything. So there was like their taxi started overtaking a lorry that was overtaking a lorry, and it was actually like in the opposite lane of traffic
Yeah.
for about a mile, just overtaking.
Oh my
It's like
God.
completely different.
I had that with like a main thing. It's called it's a bike. It's called a tuk-tuk. I
Yeah,
think it is
tuk-tuk, yeah.
And those things are like it's hell on wheels when you have
Mm-hmm.
to drive it yourself. So we did it. I did it with a buddy of mine, and we almost died like 4 times crossing a road with that thing
Yeah.
because it's so freaking busy. And they told us to not get a cab because you will get scammed there. So you have to do it yourself, make pictures and stuff. Because there are big scammers in there over there, which is really we went with like a Dutch traveling group.
Yeah.
I always seem to do like traveling groups on holidays like that, which I don't really know the country.
Yes, yeah.
So it's really much easier to see like the most beautiful places. I've been to Indonesia with like my to compare. I've been to Indonesia. I haven't been traveling with a group then. And it was like with my best friend, his parents, his mom has like 50% Indonesian.
Right.
So they have family there, and they showed us the most beautiful places there were, and not even the things in the tourist guides, like the local stuff. That was so good. If you can do it, then always go for the local stuff. They will never scam you. They're always grateful, and the food is 10 times better.
Yeah, I agree. So for me, I want to go Austria as an example. I haven't been to Austria. Quite cheap for me as well to get out there. So I think like so what I generally do is I generally go for like a long weekend. So I do like a get out there Friday morning and then come back like Monday afternoon sort of time. But I think so for like 4 days I looked it up and it was like flight and like a 3-star hotel or something like that for that sort of time was like £170. It's like 200
like in
50
Vienna.
like Vienna or something like that. It's like $250, which is pretty good I think for 3 days, let's say.
Vienna is like an amazing capital. It's really really beautiful. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Good. That's what I say.
10 out of 10. Darth Maul. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So what have you? Where would you guys like to go this year? Realistically, let's America. I was going to say realistically this year, and then we'll get on to like ideally where we'd like to go. Not necessarily this year, in the future and whatnot. And stories.
So
and
when you said holiday, you were talking about vacation.
Yeah, vacation.
So when you said holiday, I definitely thought you were talking about like Easter. And I was like, well, for Easter, we can't go anywhere because we go to see our family.
No,
Okay.
Vacation.
Got it.
Holiday in the UK, vacation in the US.
That's why she's the blonde out of the 3 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I realistically this year, I don't think we're really gonna go anywhere. Because of COVID with KP's work. So he was out for that whole period of time. So now he's down to like 2 weeks of vacation time for the rest of the year until September, I think. And we have his brother's wedding in the Outer Banks in May. So we're going to the Outer Banks for like 4 days. But that's literally all that we have right now. We might go to Florida in the summer to see my mom for like a week, but that's pretty much it. I think everything's pretty much on hold this year. We did want to go. So I don't know if it's as big where you guys live, but cruises are big for Americans.
It kind of depends. Like it can be big. I think there's still over here like a stereotype like type of it's more for older people. But I do
Okay.
know quite a lot of like younger people who go on them. I just don't know whether I
I
could be.
Stereotypes in the Netherlands is more older people and Americans. I don't know why it is that way. No, I'm not kidding. I'm really not kidding. There's a lot of Americans that do that
Mhm.
in opposite, and older Dutch people do that. But I've never heard
Yeah.
like a friend of mine say, "Well, I'm going on a cruise for 3 weeks,"
I've had
because
like
I don't have the time to go on a
yeah.
cruise.
I like I've
That's a long cruise.
I've
Yeah.
definitely like heard. I've definitely got some friends who've gone on cruises, but I think the problem is you don't really do a cruise around Europe. If you're
Right.
over
That's what I
here,
was
you do a cruise around like the Bahamas and things like that. So which is ridiculously
Yeah,
expensive.
because the thing
Right.
with the Netherlands, for me at least, is I can book a ticket to Paris for like $40
Yeah,
and just go on a plane. And a cruise
I think
costs me
that
like $500-600,
yeah.
and then I can
right.
see like 3 countries. But if I do it by plane, I'm like 1/3 cheaper,
Yep.
and I can literally walk around instead of like being on deck of a ship. I don't really see the point of a cruise. Maybe that's me, but you're stuck on a boat, like a big boat that you can do stuff on. I studied logistics and then with the harbor specialty, so ships. But I don't really see the point. I like a ship, but I feel trapped on a boat if I
I
have
think
to.
like the way, and sorry, Cass, we've kind of hijacked your like bit here, but for
You can
me,
talk for 50 minutes.
yeah, for me, like when I look at a cruise, I agree. I don't know. I like to try and get out every day when I'm like on holiday and do something. I'm not one of these people who could like lie on a beach 24/7. Like I've got friends who can like lie on a beach for 2 weeks and do nothing, and I'm like I can't do that. I can do it for like half of the day, but like normally what I do is I go somewhere warm. Morning, I go out, look at like the local sites, see bits and pieces, and then I'll come back and enjoy the afternoon, have drinks, barbecue, whatever. And for me, a cruise feels very much like if I was to go and do a I say 5-star, yeah, 5-star like all inclusive like resort or somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, and it's like that for me, I just don't like that. I like to go out and like kind of experience like different cultures and go and actually see historical sites or whatever. But that's just me. Back to Cass.
Well, we actually went on a cruise for that's where we got married.
On a cruise.
On a cruise. Well, not on the cruise we didn't get married,
Oh,
but we
okay.
went on the cruise and we got married. I think the difference is that if I'm going to go to Europe, I'm going to go to Europe and then I'll do one of those tours where it takes me to the bigger places like Italy and Germany and all those like bigger places that I want to see.
I like how she didn't include Netherlands or the UK.
No, yeah. She does not
But
think there's.
here, like, I could just like you said, I could drive or fly mostly in a cheapish manner to like wherever I want to go. The cruises, we like them because they take you to multiple places. Like that was the only cruise we went on, and we've been trying to book another one. But we went down past Florida. We hit St. Thomas, St. Lucia, Haiti, Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico. And we had like a day in each one of those places. And it was so cool. Dominican Republic, we almost died. Pretty much because of what you said about like the driving. Like
Oh, yeah.
this dude,
Yeah.
he spoke 2 words of English. It was yes and water. There was like a water plant on the island, and we're like driving by, and he's like pointing, and he's like, "Water."
Well, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all you needed to say. You knew it was a water plant when he said
I'm like,
that.
okay.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have known.
And like, so we went with my best friend and her fiance. So it was the 4 of us got in this random truck with this guy on a tour and just went. But he took us to this really nice waterfall, like in the woods. Like he drove us through the island. We got to see all this cool stuff. And then we like get to this side. It's literally he pulled over on the side of the road and it's like forest. And there was this little walking path. And I'm like, we're gonna die. Like, we're
Then you got
literally
robbed.
Yeah.
we're not coming back from this trip. But it was so cool because we walked down the path and they had like it was like a pavilion almost where vendors came from the outskirts of where they were, and they would sell their things like cocoa beans and coffee beans and sugar cane. So we got to try a bunch of different things that they sold, which was cool. And then they took us to this great waterfall. But I like the cruises because it was kind of like seeing a lot of different places at one time.
Mm.
And that was a long one. We were on a cruise for 9 days, but you could do one for like 3. Like, we could go to the Bahamas for 3 days, and it's cheaper to do a cruise than it is to go there, like fly
Mm.
there and stay for however many days.
Yeah, but the
So,
thing the thing for me is if I would do a cruise, I would do it like either to like China and Indonesia, like that far, or I would do it to America
Yeah.
because like the flight hours in Europe are not that big. So I can fly to Spain in like 2.5 hours. I can fly to Italy in 3. I can fly to the UK in 1 even. If I'm at the airport, if I literally want to, I can be Wisco in like 2 hours.
Yep.
And if I drive from like the most south point almost where I live to the most north point, I drive 4.5 hours. So I'm faster to Skel that I'm with in like the top part of the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And it would only cost me $100, and otherwise it would cost me in gas. So I'm
Yeah.
good.
crazy.
Because
Yeah.
I think that's what I was like. Part of what I wanted to find out from you, Cass, was like if you were to go, say, Cancun, which I know is like big for like spring break and things like that. Like, how much does that like cost? Because obviously, for us, it's like really good in Europe, even if the UK is now out of the EU, but to just quickly go and see like so many countries, and it's kind of the one thing I like think about the US, and I go, I almost feel a bit sorry because I think a lot of people can only go on holiday in the US because it's so cheap. You can't.
Right. Like,
There's not a
traveling.
huge amount of like choice of, because I don't know how much it costs to go from PA to Montreal, let's say, in Canada, or like Mexico, but then I don't know how much it is again, like Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, all them sort of places, and even if that's kind of like a big touristy like sort of place to go. I think it's Mexico,
I
isn't it?
think so. So my sisters went to Cancun, and I think that each one of them paid over $1,000
Right.
for the week.
For a
I'm
week.
assuming that included the airfare, but I'm not really 100% sure. To put it in perspective, I could drive to my mom in Florida from where I am, and in gas, I think the last time we went, we added it up down and back, and I think we spent like 450. But if we were to
Mm.
fly, it would be about 350 to 400 a person to fly down
Yeah.
to my mom and back. Now they do run specials every once in a while, and you could fly into this very tiny airport, and then you could rent a car and do all that. And we did fly down there the one time, and we rented a car, but the it was like $100 cheaper to fly into Orlando. And so we did that, but then we had to rent a car and drive 2 hours to where my mom was. And by the time all is said and done, is it really worth that extra $400 that we saved when we could have just flown right into where my mom lives and had her pick us up at the airport?
Mm.
It's a lot of money. And I think for us to fly to California, like across the US, is like $400 a ticket. um, I looked it up one time to go to Hawaii, and it was like $800 a
Yeah, not surprised.
ticket. I want to go to
That's
Hawaii.
that's
Yeah.
insane. I can book like a going back to like I've looked into that with like a stop in New York and then fly to PA from New York, and it was like $800 for
Yeah.
a return ticket. And
Yeah.
there was one stop in England because I thought, well, people they're doing like joint flights.
Yeah.
KLM and stuff are doing joint flights, so they are going to London. They're picking up English passengers also,
Yeah.
and then they're flying to New York or Los Angeles or whatever it is, and then they're. But that's really a thing where you have to like in the US, I didn't know, but you have like in between flights. So you have like three or four like big spots that come across, like New York, Los Angeles, what, Washington, and
Yeah.
another one. And from there's only like smaller flights that go through like every airport, I think. And in the Netherlands, it's just there are three too. But there's like Amsterdam that has like the biggest
Yeah.
airport, and a lot of stuff go there.
Yeah. Schiphol.
And a lot of international like US flights go there. And then we have Eindhoven, which has like the smaller France, Spain, UK flights, or Rotterdam, actually. But that's insane. We don't really have that like in between flights.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's maybe because we're just so like small compared to the US.
Yeah. That's true.
It's the same in the UK. You know, you've got Heathrow primarily. Well, Heathrow's the biggest in the UK, which flies almost everywhere. Heathrow is generally more longer distance like flights. You then got like Gatwick, London Gatwick, which is
I've flown to Gatwick twice instead of Heathrow.
Yeah, I was gonna say Gatwick again is quite a big like one to go out to like longer destinations, but it does more European kind of places as well. It's got a lot of choice. It kind of depends because obviously I'm north, so I can go Liverpool or Manchester, for example, airport. But they don't. I think Manchester does go out to like the US, like New York's the only flight it does. But they generally do like the smaller places to like. Where did I? Oh no, it was Southampton that I went from to go to like Bergerac in like France, and I remember getting there and the guy taking the plane lands. They can only land like one plane at a time because there is no like terminal as such. You have to, it stairs off a plane and you have to walk off, and then you literally walk about 10 meters into the luggage hall or whatever. And it was just this guy on a tractor. He pulls up to the plane, just starts chucking these bags on the back of his tractor, and then drives like 10 meters, and then literally just chucks it through a hole in the wall. Just onto like a metal slide. It was quite funny.
To be honest, I had that once in Curacao where I went there. There was like the same guy that checked in my luggage, checked my tickets, and took my luggage, threw it into like a small ass plane where I flew to Bonaire. It's like the same. It's like the ABC Islands. So, and then he did everything himself, and then it turns out he was the pilot too. Everything in the airport. And I was like, are you good? And then he was like, oh, easy, I got this. And then he couldn't get the plane started. So I was nervous.
Yeah.
Because I thought, well, if he even can't get the plane started, I'm screwed. But it went well. That guy was nice.
Yeah. I'm surprised. As I said, I'm surprised how expensive it is for the US. I mean, that obviously just supports why a lot of people just go to like the next couple states over or whatever and probably drive. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've been to the US I think like 9 times or something, not for a very long time, but there is a lot to see obviously in the US because of how big it is. There's a lot of beautiful things. I'd love to go and see like Mount Rushmore or like the Grand Canyon. I've not seen those, for example. So there is a huge amount, and I obviously don't I'm not like trying to slag off any like Americans for staying in the US. I think it's just a shame that I think air travel in general is so expensive, and the fact that you can't. I would love to see more like Americans and whatnot being able to come over to like mainland Europe and kind of experience these like random beautiful kind of locations.
I looked it up one time to go to like Italy. I did Italy, I did Spain, and I don't remember where in the UK the other one was. There was like different airports that I looked up to see if I could like what it would cost to fly there. And it was between like $1,000 and $1,500 for one ticket. And I was like, we're gonna spend almost $4,000 just in tickets to get there. And then we have to like pay for everything else. I'm like, that's an insane trip. Like
Yeah, but
that's not
if you
like I'm saving up for a year trip. That's like I'm saving up for 10 years.
but if you compare it, if like 850 euros for a return from the Netherlands to America, it's almost the same.
Yeah.
You have like four tickets you have to pay, but
Yeah.
I have to pay like one. And I think it's even a little bit cheaper for you, Scout. It's like 750 or
Yeah, it
8,
might
but
be,
it's
but
not much
no.
less, I think.
No, it's
So
going to be pretty much the same.
I'm really glad that if we come over in New Year's when you pay our tickets, we can just stay in PA so we can do stuff. That's a big thing.
Oh,
too.
wait, we're staying in PA? I was just
No,
going to,
we're going straight to
like 5 minutes to go, like, hi, and then
Yeah.
I was going to disappear off, elsewhere. Yeah.
We're going to California, right? To Drew?
Yeah.
That's what we
Yeah, California.
smoking weed with Drew.
California,
That's what we are going to do.
Florida, 5 minutes in
Listen,
PA.
so if we can figure it out and you guys can get here like the day
What do
after
you-
Christmas,
What
we
do you
can
mean?
go
He can figure
to
it
the
out.
Grand
Boxing Day.
Canyon and Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, you have to give a Boxing Day for
and
this.
do all that. You have to give a Boxing Day.
Sacrifices. But what do you mean if we can figure it out?
Yeah, no, we as like a group can figure out planning on going to like Mount Rushmore and
Oh,
and,
I thought figure out the
Grand
tickets.
Canyon.
No,
Mm.
I
we could
was.
definitely do that. I think that'd be fun. It's on our list of things to do. We just never like plan to do it because it's time consuming.
Yeah.
You should put a marker on your stream. Get
Yeah.
Skeletons and the Funky Fox to
Yeah, Patreon
America.
them, like, really
And then
sponsor it on your
1700. That's what
stream.
a lot of people do. And you
Charity?
almost have a year. We
What?
are the charity. Yeah, we are.
Is that
we are
considered charity?
No,
Yeah.
Patreon doesn't have to be charity.
The,
Bring
we
the
are charity.
sassy gamers together.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The sassy
Yeah,
gamers fund.
long lost.
And then we can make
Mods.
a TikTok out of it, and then you'll see. Then you'll say we'll videotape the whole thing, and then go and then fall.
What was with the
fall into
weird, like,
Daddy
with
KP's
the
arms.
tongue?
I'm sorry. Fall into Daddy KP's arms and then say
Yeah.
hi to Cass and then move.
Yep.
On.
That's exactly what's gonna happen. I'm gonna be so pissed if when we pick you up from the airport, if he's the one that gets all the hugs
Yeah.
first, okay? I'm throwing that out there right now.
And then the Cass is standing there to the side, and we're just both waiting to hug KP
I'm gonna
first.
video it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be on TikTok live and I'm gonna be like, hey guys, look!
Yeah.
This is how much they love me.
That's what we have to
It'd be-
figure out. Too,
it'd be
Scott,
like-
that we are.
If we arrive, Fox, just remember it's got to be like KP, give KP a hug. Then it's got to be like Luca, give Luca a hug. Then it'd be like Mia, give Mia a hug. And then it'd be like Elsa.
Yeah. And then hi Cass, how you doing?
All right, Cass.
Oh, you're here too. Yeah.
We'll have to rent a bus to come
Yeah.
pick you guys up from the
Definitely, we'll bring groupies.
Yeah.
Like Paul.
Groupies. Oh yeah, Paul.
Oh my god. So did you tell Polden that
Haven't
he
yet.
has to
No.
figure out how to get his whole family to go with us?
No, because
she's not
he's in chains like always.
Yeah.
So he.
Yeah, but if she's allowed to go to the
No, she
marriage,
isn't. No, she isn't.
Why
We need
not?
Paulden the way he is, not with Rachel.
Bros before hoes.
Because he will hold it in. Yeah, he will hold. He will
then he
hold
won't
back.
go. Then he won't be allowed to go.
I'll smuggle him. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll find a way.
All right.
Big suitcase. You have to put
Yeah.
it in though.
I know.
That's the job.
I just take him on as a support animal. That's a thing in the US, isn't it? A support animal. It's not a thing over here.
Emotional support
Yeah.
animal.
No.
Oh, we
lie,
can talk about that
actually-
too.
I was actually thinking about getting her the training so she could be a support animal, so she could just go everywhere. I can go to breakfast.
For
and
those
she
who
can-
can't see, who are listening, I've just face palmed.
The thing for me is like, what is an emotional support animal?
So people
Animal.
who I know that I've never had, like I've had people who have had them, like I know people who have had them. It's basically like sometimes certain people with anxiety,
Yeah, like about flying
very
and stuff.
bad social anxiety, will have a support dog where it'll like calm them down. If that
Yeah, but
makes
there's
sense.
Yeah,
really
But it's
there's
gone to-
really people that bring those dogs everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean? Like emotional support?
Yeah.
Sorry, but I think this is a later generation thing that I don't get.
Well,
Yeah.
But emotional support animal that you bring into the story the entire freaking time. If you are like, I get it. If you are like that down bad that that you're harming yourself in any way, shape, or form, and that your dog can like help you not do it. Because I've seen that, and I think that's really good. But like in a store, like an emotional support dog, what is the dog going to do? Like,
Stop me from buying everything.
no way. He's being like,
Yeah,
mommy, 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 buy this,
actually,
buy this.
Elsa would be grabbing things off the shelf and
Yeah.
putting them in the cart herself.
well,
I think this is like a
I
later
think
later different generation thing.
so the other thing is, I'm trying to like find the list, but because I think they've reduced it now from what I'm reading to just dogs. But previously, it was like someone took a peacock onto the plane, someone took like a horse onto a plane. It's like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
this is not Harry Potter. You don't get to pick your animal.
I want to pick my
That's-
snow owl and call him.
Oh yeah, so here's the list: miniature horse, a cat, rabbit, donkey, guinea pig, snake, snakes on a plane, parrot, miniature pig, bearded dragon, sheep, squirrel, chickens, llama, monkey.
llama.
Yep, it goes on. Go.
Yeah, but those animals that
Turtle.
go on the plane with these people are put in storage.
No. They get their own seat. I swear, they get their own
Really?
seat
I've
for
never
the emotional
Yeah,
support. Yeah, I've seen videos of it where
Oh
they
my
like literally have a miniature horse or a cat or something next to
No,
them in the
that's
seat,
insane.
and there's somebody or in front of them, and there's like a guy complaining that there's a miniature horse next to him and he can't even sit, and then they have like a fight about it, and I'm like,
Do we know aliens? Because I'd really like to identify as an alien from now on.
I
Humans are
want to identify as a Boeing 747.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I can't fly, but I will try if necessary.
please don't try.
Yeah.
Don't-
Yeah, I was gonna
don't
say
do that.
definitely. Yeah, definitely don't start
I mean,
jumping
if
off
you
things.
take some LSD, you'll think you can fly.
Yeah.
That would
LSD?
be
Have you
Yeah, there
tried
you
that?
No.
I'm the
Yeah.
Dutch guy, but I've never tried
Yeah.
LSD before.
My mom told me stories about there was this one girl in her high school who took LSD who was
One
on
girl
the roof
in
of
high
the
school? One
who
girl?
thought that she could fly, and she was like telling everybody she was gonna
Oh,
fly
to be
off.
honest, it's a sad story, but I had like a friend of like high school, which I didn't really stay in touch with, but he tried to use LSD and jumped out of a 5-story window.
Oh,
And he
God.
died in
Nice.
Amsterdam. While he was studying. It was really sad.
PSA, don't do drugs, kids.
No,
They're
really
bad.
don't do drugs except under supervision of professionals. If you want to try it, I will be like the dad who says I will be like the dad who says, "Oh, you want to try drugs? Try weed with me instead of doing it on the streets." I would be like that guy, and then they wouldn't be like, Dad, this is gross," and I'm like, "Yes, you learned from it. Now never do it again."
I'd be more like, you want to try Coke? You can try Coke, but you got to snort it off my stomach.
Shave your stomach, like gross, like a line.
Yeah. So oil my stomach up first as well.
Oh,
Anyway, so my next question is, okay, we talked about realistic holidays, but where, if you, and it doesn't have to be one place, where are like the kind of top places you'd love to go and visit? Money, like, let's just imagine that you got like
money doesn't exist.
Well, so not exactly don't exist, but imagine you won like 25,000 or whatever like that, and you had the chance to obviously therefore go and enjoy yourself somewhere. Where would you like to go? Where like the couple places you'd like to do?
$25,000, I can fly to California.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
50,000 then.
I definitely would go Hawaii. That
Mhm.
would be my top one. I've always wanted to go there, and being a history person, I'd love to see Pearl Harbor. That's like something that has always been like on my bucket list. Also a tour around Europe. So, like I said, I looked into some of those places. I've always wanted to go to Ireland. I've always wanted to go to Italy. I want to go see France and literally all the places, the big places around there. I would love to go.
Have you figured out that she didn't even mention the Netherlands or UK?
Yeah, no.
Okay, gotcha.
Mm.
But the big places of Europe.
Yeah,
that's
yeah, big
where she wants
places.
to go.
Places of Europe. Yeah,
Thanks.
To be
definitely
honest,
Japan.
Brexit means Brexit, so you're not
Yeah,
part of Europe
exactly.
anymore.
Yeah, well, that is true.
Yeah. Ireland isn't either then,
No.
so she's not going to Europe. Oh, it is in the
No,
continent Europe, of course.
Republic of Ireland.
It's not in the Union.
It's not in the union.
European
What?
Union.
Yeah, it is.
You have a union?
Yeah.
Republic of Ireland's in the EU.
Union benefits?
Yeah. Like paying a lot of tax and get fucked over.
Free
That's a benefit.
free movement
Like
between
employee.
countries.
Yeah.
Give that to.
You don't have to pay like taxes in between countries or pay anything.
Okay, so nowhere further, like China,
Well, I said I
Australia.
want to go to Japan at some point.
Wait,
I
did
don't
you
know if
say?
I'll
Hold
ever-
on.
Pearl Harbor. She said Pearl Harbor.
No, so she said Hawaii wants to see Pearl Harbor because of the history. Then when she wants to go around the big places of Europe, not the UK and Netherlands,
France,
and then
Spain,
you just said
Italy.
something about like. Yeah, so it talks about the trip around Europe. I also want to try Japan. It's like Japan's not in Europe. I hope you know that.
No, I know, but you said
Oh,
like
okay.
China.
Yeah.
So then I said
Oh,
Japan.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Japan's on,
Well,
on my list.
I want to try sushi from Japan.
Oh, right. I was like,
sushi here.
I want to
You
try
can
sushi.
order
Go
that in
around
the
the corner.
US,
Then
yeah.
you have a sushi place. What do
Yeah,
you
but
mean?
there's no way it tastes the same. There's absolutely no way that a sushi roll that I get here tastes exactly like
Well,
it
I
would
was-
or even close to.
I was going to say because like California rolls and things like that aren't actually
They're not baked.
you can't even get them in Japan. It's a bit like in the UK. You know we get Indian takeaways, but
They're not Indian.
it's British Indian. It's not. If
Yeah.
you go out to India, it's nothing like that.
One, it's way spicier, and two,
Yes.
it's way more tasteful.
And it's 24/7.
Yeah. The thing that with
Yeah, it's like
sushi,
curry
I've been
for
to Amsterdam
breakfast.
once, and you have on a place near the harbor, you have like a guy that's studied like the mastering sushi like for 30 years. So he makes it and it tastes incredible. And whenever I get takeaway sushi, it sucks now. And
Yeah.
I hate it for it. Because it never tastes the same.
Yeah.
The places I want to go to are really gets my interest is like the World War II also. So I want to go to Auschwitz to see the
Poland?
concentration camp.
That's a good.
Only that I've been in to the one near Vienna with my school, like the working camp, and
Yeah, I've been one in Germany.
That was
With
so.
school?
Yeah,
Yeah.
with school.
I
Yeah.
went with school as well. History trip to I can't remember what it's called. Brennan something in Germany. It was like one of the biggest.
Believe me, we were a terror group in like high school, but we all shut up immediately when we got there. It's so.
Yeah.
The atmosphere
It's weird.
there isn't one to make fun of.
It's
you
just
can't even
dead
make fun of
silence.
it when you try. You see people laugh there, but it's because they're like uncomfortable. That's the only way why.
I saw this documentary not too long ago actually. It must have been a while ago because it was a couple survivors that were very old and they went back.
They
to
still
see-
live
and
now.
they were literally like it's the feel like you walk there and there's just this very eerie aura. Like it is just not somewhere you really want to be.
I remember this vividly. We were in like a working camp and they were like carrying like bricks, like the big blocks. And when they weren't fast enough, they were thrown off a hill with the blocks, so they died. Like it was a long time. It was a long way down. So we actually stood at the place where they died and you could feel the energy. It was so insane that to imagine that people walked there for like almost 5 years with like under those circumstances. So it gets my interest out of like just gets my interest.
Yeah, it's obviously
So I want to see that. I want to take like a 3-4 week trip around America. Just I had it when I switched jobs. I want to go. A friend of mine rented an RV,
Is this US?
a new one. Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
okay.
yes.
Okay.
Just wanted to check. Yeah.
So she rented an RV in Los Angeles, like a brand new one, and the thing was she has to take in money. She has to put down money, like collateral, and then she would drive it all the way to New York, and you have like a certain time period, so 3 or 4 weeks, and the only thing you have to pay is like the gas for the truck. So that's what I would like to do. Just drive around, see what happens, go to like the national parks, go to Mount Rushmore, stuff like that. A lot of people annoy me, so I can only do that with like special people. Because I tend to get on people's nerves. I don't know how.
Am I special?
You're definitely special, and you're
So hold
definitely
on,
welcome to come. Because
you just said a lot of people annoy me.
yeah, and I annoy a lot of people.
Then you said, but I'm annoying.
I'm annoying too. Yeah, definitely.
That's funny.
Yeah. I've had a friend that we were out in Milan, and a friend of mine just had no money, so he wanted to stay in the hotel room, and I was like, "Fuck you! I'm going into nightlife." So I went out 4 times in a row on my own while he was laying in his hotel room, and I was like, "This is not the vacation or the city trip I want. I'm just going in." And then I did that, and I had the greatest time with some German people that I met the first day, and we kept going back to the same bar. It was fine.
I could definitely see you as one of those people that goes to those hostels and then gets murdered.
Me?
I love that. Yeah, you want to? I was like one of those people who goes to a hostel, and I was like, I've been to a hostel, and then I get murdered. Oh, okay.
I was like, she was going to compliment me, but apparently I died. Yeah. What's up?
Yeah, come back to my room. Come back to my room.
Stop.
Murder.
Why is that? Can you elaborate for every listener here?
I don't know. It just seems like you are very free.
That's what I was about to say.
Personality.
Yeah. Just like you'd be so welcoming that you wouldn't realize that someone's going to murder you.
Gullible, is that the word?
Not gullible.
No, not gullible.
No, just like trustworthy of like random people like having a good time, and then they go, yeah, come back to our room, and then they just brutally murder you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're gonna go have a couple beers. Like, I got this 6-pack. We're all gonna go back to my room, and I feel like you would follow, whereas I would be like, I'm good. I'm gonna not go anywhere near you from now on ever.
You want to know a funny story about that too? I was in Ireland. Yeah, about the welcoming part. I was in Ireland. It's so different. The atmosphere in a bar or in a pub, it's different. So, we met some locals, and we started drinking with them. Me and my best buddy. So we started drinking and giving them around, and they gave us around. They were like, "Do you want to go to our house?" And I was like, "Of course, why not? I'm drunk anyways, and I need to get back." Because we rented an Airbnb like 10 miles away from the city, and it was that bad. It was like a gang neighborhood that we didn't look into. So there was literally kids throwing rocks at cars in the morning. It wasn't good, but that's a story for later. And then I got invited to like a house, so I was like, "Oh, a house, it's fine, it's not that big." But it was a penthouse, 24 stories up, and I was like, "Huh?" And then I literally slept on the couch, and then had the most amazing view out of all Ireland. It was so beautiful. But that will never happen again. I will definitely get murdered in a hostel by some strangers
today.
Definitely.
After that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what are you thinking?
No, the thing for me, I trust a lot of people because I think there's a lot of good in people. Sometimes I do get.
So is it just an American thing that we're not as trustworthy of people? Like,
no, it's a mindset, really.
Yeah, I think it's a mindset. I think also like if you certainly like me and Fox, I think because we've traveled and experienced like lots of different cultures. I think like I said, for example, if I try and learn a little bit of like someone's language. As I said, even if it's just like hello, thank you, things like that.
I do that too.
You know, they're so welcoming of that, and they're like, oh, you know, because I think the problem is that people, you know, and it is like the same when people come over to like the UK. And I'm talking about to like live. You know, and I do know some people who are from like mainland Europe have come over here. They've lived here for like 10 years and they still don't know English. And I'm like, I feel you're not trying to get involved with the culture and like the people, and like therefore there is this like barrier, and people do go, you know, do like push you away. Whilst I think if you at least try, then people go, oh, well, you know what, I'll like help you out and things like that. And you can, you know, the other thing is I think you realize who is not like a good people. You know, I've gone places, met people, and they've gone like, oh, you know, yeah, no, I can show you, and I can show you like this or whatever. Like Rome, loads of like street sellers, for example, they'll come up to you and go, hey, you know, I'll give you this for free, and like I'll tell you where to go, and you're like, there's something not right here, and then you watch them do it to someone else, and they do something for like 10 minutes with them, and they then go, right, that's $50, and you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And then they get quite angry, and it's like, you just know. It's like when I went to Athens, I landed, and me and my mate were asking the taxi driver what like hello and things like that was in Greek, because Greek's really difficult, and it's the I want to say Cyrillic like alphabet, but it's not quite. So
it's Latin,
yeah,
and it's a version of Latin.
Yeah, it's and just because we were like asking him like all these different questions and being like interested in like him and like the culture and whatnot, I've still got his mobile number, and he was like, you just ring me, I'll be your personal like taxi driver. You won't have to like pay for like going around like Athens or whatnot. I'll take you to like the places that are really good, like that all the locals keep like secret and don't tell like the big tourists, because they don't want like too many people going there.
That's what happened to me in Indonesia as well, and that's why I love the country. Yeah. Because if you're going, I think that's is the thing. I had it in Morocco, actually, where there are a lot of shady people there. Even in like the old Medina, which is the old town, the old capital, there are a lot of people that are trying to scam you. Like, I don't really love the Arabic countries. It's not a race thing. It's just a personal thing. I don't like the culture very much.
I understand.
Because it's like here you go, sir. Do you want to buy some? Do you buy some? Do you buy some? And it's like really pushy, which I don't like. But in a lot of countries, when you just vibe with the locals, just tell them how they are, how are you, what are you doing, they will 100%. If you trust them, they're 99% of the time are good people. Of course, you'll get scammed once or twice.
Yeah,
it's fine. I've been to like 6 Arabic countries, and all 6 I wasn't feeling okay at night. This was the first thing, like my mom and my dad divorced. I went to Morocco with my mom, and it's a hard country for women.
Yeah.
In general, because it's still like women are placed second always, and I don't like that culture. But it's just I had it in all 6 where I didn't feel safe at night, even as a guy. I didn't feel safe at night because you were going to get robbed every second. There were people on the street corners which were really shady and stuff like that. I wouldn't go back to that country for that reason only. But that's me only. I liked Indonesia because there was a lot of locals which were really nice. And that's what it is about, where you talked about, Cass, where you don't give your effort or don't trust people, they won't trust you back, and they'll only show you what you want to see versus what they keep behind closed doors, and which is way more beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, I saw like a waterfall in Indonesia. It was a tourist one, which wasn't really good. And then I saw a local one, which was in a forest, which it was phenomenal. I didn't even take pictures. That's how astonished I was from it.
I think you're getting it confused. I don't not trust people. Like I'm very open and I talk to everyone and laugh and
Mm.
friendly out the wazoo. But if you invite me somewhere, I'm not going. Like there's no way because there's just too many things, especially being a female. Like I feel like some people may think a little
Yeah, I know what I
differently,
mean.
like, realizing like there's so many places that women are just being
Yeah.
kidnapped, like for no reason, just other than you're a woman.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I have way too many things to live for that I don't really want to
Mm.
be kidnapped.
Hey, you
So,
know,
I
I
mean, I
think it's
would like
like, I think
to.
if I went somewhere on my own, which I would be quite comfortable doing, and
Me
someone
too.
invited me back to their house, you know, I would be a bit like, I'm on my own. But obviously, I normally go with another person or two other people, and therefore, if someone goes like, oh, you know, I'll take you to like this local like pub or you know whatever restaurant and things like that, and like you know just get in the back of my car. I'm not too bothered because it's a bit like, well, it's three guys of almost versus like one person or whatever. So
Yeah, and don't forget, tourists have way more rights than locals. If it comes to like scamming people and stuff, when you shout loud as a
yeah,
tourist, the police will 99% of the time take your side of the story
yeah, yeah.
because you
Only if
can't make stuff up like that.
Mm.
Because they know that you're scared. I do the same actually when I'm with like my best friend going touring or going to like a city trip, and somebody invites me. I'm like, I don't really care. Let's go for it. The worst thing that can happen is that I die. You know, I don't care. Like
Yeah,
that's most of the time how I think. Like, what can go wrong? Like a quick risk
yeah,
analyzation, and then I'll be like, "Meh, go for it. What can happen? Like that they steal my money? Well, I
yeah.
block my bank account and that's it."
Exactly. Yeah. What I'll do is I'll quickly like rattle off the place. I've got a lot of places that I'd love to kind of go, but I'd love to go somewhere like I say Iceland, like north, like Sweden, Norway, just to like see, for example, Northern Lights. And I've
Do
not
you want to
done,
hold hands?
yeah, and yeah,
Norway it is.
and
Sweden, they have more beautiful women
yeah,
in Sweden.
yeah,
Let's go to Sweden.
yeah. I'd love to see the Northern Lights, and I haven't done like Scandinavian sort of countries. God, Japan is on the list. I have been, I wouldn't say I've been China, but that's a bit harsh. I've been to Hong Kong. I would like to do mainland China. I think like that kind of Vietnam also, or what's it? It's not Vietnam, it's Cambodia with Angkor Wat.
Mm-hmm.
Love to like do that. Indonesia. I think Indonesia would be a bit more of a touristy one for me. Like I've seen some
Island
like,
hopping.
yeah, I've seen some like really beautiful places. I've obviously been New Zealand. Would love to go back. Love to go Australia, see Donna. Shout out to
I
Donna.
will go with you. Shout out to Donna. I will leave you with Donna, by the way. I'll just go and
It's fine.
jellyfish.
Jellyfish. Okay.
Go to look at jellyfish. What?
Love to do like Peru, Machu Picchu sort of thing. I think that would be like quite good. But probably my biggest one to do, and I have like had a number of serious. Look, she's saying USA. Well, the thing is, look, it'd be lovely to see you, but I've been to
Would
the
it?
US multiple
No,
times.
that's true. I
Are you
forgot.
like for real, Skel? Are you going to see Elsa and KP, or are you going to see Gas?
And what I was then going to say, so my main place that I'd like to go is Madagascar.
Really?
Yeah, Madagascar.
You
I think
know that
that's
they don't sing and dance there.
What?
The animals are just normal animals.
Oh, well,
They
okay.
Mort. Isn't
What?
Mort there?
But what about the penguins?
They don't sing and dance either.
What about the hippos?
Well, I quit life.
Hey, yo.
No. So for me, Madagascar is because just how diverse their like wildlife is, with all like the lemurs and things like that, and a lot of them are, you know, it's the only place you can go and see them, except for like a zoo, see them in the wild like easily. A lot of them are endangered as well, and I just think, you know, I've seen like, well, I know someone is from Madagascar, but I've also seen, you know, documentaries and things like that, and I think it is like a really beautiful place that you can go and spend some time in. So that's my number one. I would also like to go. I'm going to put it out there. I'd like to go to Iran.
Around, yeah.
Yeah, to see history-wise Persepolis, which was obviously where the Persian Empire was, and then Alexander the Great burnt it down. You know, it's one where obviously you get mixed reports of Iran. They're not. There's quite a lot of people who don't like, you know, UK and US people because of obviously a lot of what's gone on. But at the same time, I've heard from people who have gone out there, it can be all right. You just got to choose your time, place, and make sure you kind of like map it out.
If you want to do that, I really recommend you taking like a local guide or a UK guide that knows everything.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Of the area, because I think there's a lot of tourists that don't come back because they are going off their own and either get kidnapped or shot. I wouldn't do like Iraq, Iran on my own.
Well, I wouldn't do Iraq, but
that's like a country I wouldn't do without a guide.
Well, no. So
I'm never going
there. Iran, I would do, but yeah, I agree with a guide. I've also got a couple of like Iranian friends, so it might be one where I'd choose to like bring one of them with me to kind of help out. Their dad's, yeah,
you're going to teach me how it is.
Their dad's quite like a big businessman out there, so
Ooh.
Yeah.
You got connections, baby. That's cool.
I wish.
I'd like to see Mumbai. I always see like pictures.
Okay, she's gone to India. Yep. Taj Mahal. I know. I don't think that is that Mumbai. I don't know. It's in India, but
I thought so. Or like Dubai. Like those really like big ones that people talk about.
You know what it is for me? Dubai. It rhymes.
I mean, it rhymes. Is that why you've chosen them, or and because they're different countries, very like different? Okay.
No, but the thing is, Dubai. What doesn't pull me in Dubai is that it's not authentic. It doesn't have history behind it.
Yeah, for me, I would obviously like to go to Dubai to just like experience, you know, but it'd be more of just like a fun holiday, the same as I would like to go to Vegas.
Yeah,
there isn't like sights to see. And for me, Dubai is effectively the Vegas of the kind of.
To be honest, it's quite unreal that they put everything down in like 20 years.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like from a desert to this, it's unreal. But yeah, it doesn't really spark my interest. I don't know.
It's just different.
It's only about the big lifestyle there, and I don't really care about the big lifestyle. I care more about nature and like history of a country.
Yeah. No, I agree. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to end, because Fox, you've done quite a few like, you know, stories. So I'm going to give you one story which I don't think I've told either of you. Paulden knows this very well. So me and Paulden went on a round the world trip thing. So we went Hong Kong for a couple of days, then over to New Zealand, which was primarily where we stayed for like 6 to 8 months, and then off to Fiji and then California. And whilst in Hong Kong, me and Paulden thought it'd be very sensible to go to a jade market. We went with the tour guide, and because it was like a group, again, like one of these group things organized. There's like 20 of us. And we decided it'd be sensible to get some replica samurai swords at this jade market. And I got some additional like knives as well. Flew into New Zealand. Obviously, you have to declare anything that you've got. So I declared. I mean, New Zealand's very strict. Like, someone had a blade of grass attached to the bottom of their shoe in their luggage, and they'd been on a farm like within the last month or something like that. So the New Zealand authorities took the shoes off them and had to destroy them, because you can't take any like plant kind of material into New Zealand. And so I obviously declared the swords and the knives. I actually took Paulden's off his, and I said, look, if anything like happens, I'll take the rap for this. So they checked the samurai swords over. They were like, they're blunt, so not really that concerned, and it's kind of fine to like have them over here. However, the UK has just put through a law which is that you can't have replica samurai swords unless you are practicing some sort of like martial art, basically, or you have like an official like collector's like license or something like that.
You can even buy that, I think.
Yeah, well, at the time, I think they've changed it slightly now, so you can. But it was something like automatic 10 years in prison if you were found with them.
Yeah.
And then the other one was, so I'd bought these 2 knives, which the woman in the chain market, in her broken English, told me was cowbone. The guy took the knives out, and I was like, oh yeah, I've got them. Oh, I said, oh, I've got these as well. Handed them over to him, 2 knives, which were like, all made out of bone. And he went away for about half an hour and came back, and he was like, right, you're gonna have to be here for a little while. Of course, the group's like waiting for us on the other side because everyone's managed to get through. And I was like, mate, you go, I'll take, because I was like, well, the knives are mine, so that's fine. So I think pulled into the samurai swords with him, and the guy, I was like, what's going on? Why have I got to sit here for a while? He said, so we've had a first look over them. We think they're ivory. And I was like, uh-oh. I said, I was like, I know that means I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. He said, if they are ivory, it's a minimum of 25 years in prison. So I had to sit there for like 2 hours whilst they tested them in a lab.
Oh my god!
To then find out that they're actually made out of camel bone. And then he gave them back to me.
Got away with that.
And he said, get rid of them because otherwise you'll have this issue everywhere that you go. He said, especially if you go in the US, it won't be good. An interesting thing that happened at that time when I flew into, because it was LAX that I flew into, and then as I went back, I got there for like no, it wasn't. I don't think it was midday or something. I got there for a certain time, and I'm trying to think what time it would have been. I really can't think. It must have been in the morning, I guess. And no one was working, like in the airport, or not no one, but like the front desk, the like check-in. That's what I mean. No one was working on them, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And when I asked around, it was because they took a break at the same time as so it was something to do with the fact of being in like Iraq, Afghanistan, and it was like the time that the Muslims over there took like, I don't know, afternoon break or something like that. And therefore they took it at the same time. They even did that in like the US at like the airports. I thought that was, it was
like a strike, like a worldwide strike then?
Well,
like a break strike?
Yeah, it was just, everyone went on break at the same time.
Yeah, it's like a prayer thing, isn't it?
Yeah. But it was just quite, because it didn't happen in the UK. I was quite surprised by that.
No, but it's depending on the thing of the moon, like the size of the moon.
Yeah,
and they have to pray. I have respect for all religions. I've been to Morocco, and they have like a mosque that goes in, and everyone that's not a Muslim has to go out of the freaking way of like the main street. Because they literally pick you up and throw you in jail if you're on the main street. Because religion is like a big factor there. So we couldn't go into like a mosque, but I really wanted to. But out of religious relief, I didn't do it. But I still want to go to like the biggest mosque there. Yeah. I think that's so good as well. I've been to Milan. I can
keeps on name dropping.
What's the church again there?
I don't know what the church is there.
Like the big cathedral. I wasn't going to wait for 3 hours to get in, and I really regret that because it's beautiful from the inside. Cass, you go, because we talked about it for like 45 minutes.
She already said
that you want to go on a cruise.
I already went. I went first.
She said that she wanted to go around Europe and Japan. And I thought that she was saying Japan was in Europe.
Yeah, don't you remember?
And then Mumbai and Dubai, because they rhyme.
Yeah. That's exactly
Yeah.
why.
Miss Mix-a-Lot.
Yeah. Well, I forgot to say at the beginning because I'm useless. I'll need to make a note. But for those who are
Why are you
listening,
useless?
because I am,
Don't talk yourself down. I love
at
you,
the
puppy. You
last
got this.
in the last episode, I said at the beginning we were going to ask for the comments down in the comment section, and I've forgotten to do it at the beginning, so we're doing it at the end. Yep.
Skel, edit this out.
No.
We can just stick it in the front what we're going to say. That's the
Tough.
power of
That's it.
editing,
Tough.
baby.
Tough. Can't be bothered.
Don't put yourself down like that.
But what I was going to say is, so for those who are listening, watching, jump into the comment section on YouTube and put down where you're looking to try and go this year, if possible, realistically, and where would be like your top destinations to go all time.
Top 3.
Top 3.
And why?
And why? Ooh. Bit frisky.
Did we get any reactions from the last episode?
No, not yet.
Look into it.
Not yet.
Nice.
But we've got quite a lot of people on the who are listening to the podcast. I think I saw I want to say like 6 or 7 people downloaded it on the first day. So
Nice.
doing very well that side.
Viewers, baby.
Yeah. So thank you
Let's
very much to
go.
everyone who listens. It is much appreciated, and it helps us kind of
To be honest, that's more than my average on a Twitch stream. So
yeah.
I'm happy with that.
No, it's good. It's really good to see. It's really positive to see that people are listening to this on a weekly basis, and that we have got like active followers. So thank you very much.
Yeah, we really love you for that.
And we will see
that guy on the lake still. I
know.
see you, Bart. I see you, my guy. I don't know what you're doing on the lake.
We need to find out who that is.
Week.
Yep.
But if you are watching this or listening to this on a lake, drop down where the heck you are at and send us a picture.
Yep.
Like, contact us on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. But I need to know how you listen to this because I am fantasizing about it a lot. Like on a yacht, are you on a rubber duck in the middle of a lake?
Fantasizing.
What are you doing? Fantasizing? No, thinking about
imagining.
It.
Oh yeah.
Imagining. Yeah, I'm Dutch, so I can make mistakes.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
whatever.
I'm not perfect.
Okay. So we'll see everyone again next week, Friday, at 6 p.m. 1 p.m. Eastern. 6 p.m.
7 p.m.
GMT at the moment, and 7 p.m.
GST.
I can't make it this right.
CET.
CET. I always forget. I compare way too much with EST that I forget.
Dear. Yeah. Never mind. You can't even remember where he lives, people. But we'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Right? And oh god. Bye for now.
Bye.